Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. A little quick tip I'd like to talk about that I come across. Inside your hives, if you look here in the bottom, and I hope it shows up, you see all those little pieces of wax cappings and debris and stuff. Well, that right there will cause you a problem. And the reason that it's building up in there, I'll show you why. On this hive in particular, it's not tilted forward enough. Let's see if we can see this. If you can see the bubble right here, let me get down here where I can see it good. Okay, you can see the bubble and see it needs to go up to get it to tilt this whole hive forward towards the entrance. You can see I got a block in the back, but it's not enough, and it needs to be tilted just a little bit more. Now the bees, what I've noticed over the years is it's very important to keep your hive tilted towards the front, with this side tilted the low end and this here being the high end. Two reasons. One is water and rain blowing in, and in this situation, if rain would have blew in, it would have saturated the bottom, and it makes it harder for them to clean out their hive. Now, even in dry conditions, I've noticed over the years that if you don't keep that hive tilted forward, even without rain, it'll collect in the bottom, and they really have a hard time cleaning it out. Now, bees are funny, and sometimes we don't know the answer why, but if you tilt that hive forward where it's unlevel, where this is the low end and this is the high end, going up here and down here, then those bees will keep that cleaned out a lot better, and you don't have that debris that you see there in the bottom. That can cause a problem, and I'll tell you why. Is that will attract hive beetles like you would not believe, because they're attracted to that odor of the wax cappings, debris, anything that comes off that honeycomb. Those hive beetles will detect that, smell it, and go in there, and it also gives them a place to burrow down underneath in those wax cappings. They will lay eggs. So that's another reason too, that when you go through your hive, you need to go through and scrape out the bottom. Now, you keep it tilted forward, they'll have most of it out, and sometimes all of it out. But if it's tilted level and back a little bit, they will not touch it, and they'll just keep building up. Next thing you know, you're infested with hive beetles. Now, this time of year, it's really no big of a deal, because there's not hive beetles except for the ones that's overwintered in the hives with the bees. We kept them under control last year. And another thing, while we're talking about hive beetles, keep this underneath your hive bald as possible. That will make a huge difference, and especially if you have chickens and ducks, because those chickens and ducks will get under those hives and tear that up even more than what it is. But if it's got grass growing, the chickens won't hardly touch it. So when there's a bare spot, it's like a playground for those chickens, and they will come in there and they will turn over that dirt and dig out any worm larvae that they can find. Now, say if you don't have chickens, well, there's birds. Birds will also get under there and dig, and they will also eat stuff like that. So, and even if you don't have any birds whatsoever, what the point is, you're trying to make it hard as possible for those hive beetles to survive in conditions like that, because the ground gets hard over a period of time, especially in the summer. When hive beetle season comes, it makes it harder for them to burrow in the ground. But I advise too, I think the best possible thing you could put under a hive would be crush and run. If you don't know what crush and run is, it's a granite chopped with dust powder mixed in with it from granite dust, and it forms like a hard concrete, and it's a lot of if those hive beetles would hit that, it will dry them up immediately. Not all people can get that stuff, but if you can, put your few shovelfuls under that, and I'm telling you, that will take care of your hive beetles underneath your hive. There's so much you got to do, but it's not hard. It's just do your homework and try these little practices that we teach here at Barnyard Bees. I'm telling you, this is my experience and how it's worked for us. And like I said, this is like the second one I've come to, and I had to tilt one up just a little bit more because it wasn't enough. I just got in a hurry, and it wasn't done right. That can also cause huge problems in the wintertime for moisture. You got to keep those hives tilted forward. Remember, the entrance down, the back up. So everything, and it makes it easy. Those bees, I guess because of gravity, they're rolling that stuff downhill and out the hive, and it's so much easier for them. So I just wanted to, as I come across that, I just wanted to, anytime I see something I think of, I want to share with the new beekeeper or any beekeeper that may not know that. What I'm doing today, I'm pulling Nucs. I pulled 12 yesterday, and I got 7 this morning, and it'll be so many every single day, probably from here on out, until we got caught up, which will be a while, because we got so many that we have to pull. The bees today are bringing in tons of pollen. So that's about it. As I was going through this hive and checking it out, I wanted to show that to you, and that's about it. Let me get this last frame out to the customer and get it in its box, and that's about it. Don't forget, folks, if you need packages, there's a lot of people selling out of packages. We still have them. Nucs, we still have them, and will all summer up until the fall. Now packages, June is about when we cut those off, is in June. So we'll have them up until end of May, somewhere around about end of May. So if you need them, barnyardbees.com. Any kind of equipment, or beetle barns, hive top feeders, rapid feeders, hive bodies, frames, wax, hive tools, smokers, anything and everything that you can possibly think of in beekeeping, I can promise you we'll have it there at Barnyard Bees. So that's about it for today. Just a little hint from Barnyard Bees. Don't forget, click on the little bell. You'll be notified of up and coming videos. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.